So for my virtual students, I really wanted to upload a video telling you about the books that we are reading in class. The kids that are in person, we are doing like a book. That's annoying. Hold on. We are doing a book club with like a Blitz circle with some different books. I want to talk to you guys about these. Some of these you might have read, some of these you might not have. My hair's still a stinking mess. I don't know what to do. The first one is by Gary Schmidt, and it is Orbiting Jupiter. Orbiting Jupiter is about a boy named, I think his name is Jack, and he has a foster brother. His family takes in foster kids all the time. They take in a kid named Joseph. Joseph is a troubled youth. He has been arrested before. They think he almost killed a teacher. Joseph has like a rough past, and Jack's trying to get to know him. And one thing he finds out about Joseph is that Joseph, even though he's 13, he has a kid named Jupiter. And so the book is all about how Jack wants to help Joseph contact or find Jupiter. And it is intense. So intense, quick little easy book, not very long at all. Definitely something you could probably find on Overdrive. You might even be able to find a PDF on it. It's not a new book, but it's a great book. I highly recommend it. Somebody left a bunch of stuff on this one. Okay, the next book I'm going to talk to you about is The Beginning of Everything. The Beginning of Everything is an intense book. There is a lot of cussing. The first chapter is what got me hooked. The first chapter talks about how our main character, Ezra, was with his best friend at the time. They went to Disney World for his birthday, and he had a life-changing moment. I won't say too much, but his best friend ends up with somebody's head in his lap. And then it goes on to Ezra has a moment that changes his life. And if you just read the first chapter of this book, it gets you hooked. You're like, what? That's crazy. How did all those things just happen? And so he was supposed to be really popular, and something happens at a party, and it just messes his whole life up. But if you want to see it, it's called The Beginning of Everything. It has either this copy or there's also a yellow and green cover as well. Most of my classes, my 4th and 5th period and my 7th and 8th period, and a few kids from my 1st and 2nd period are reading this book. If you don't know, April Henry is one of my favorite authors. April Henry writes mystery books for young kids. They're quick, easy reads. They're not something you have to think too much about, but they do get you hooked. Oh, who could it be? Blah, blah, blah. The Girl I Used to Be is about a girl. Her name's Ariel. Sometimes Olivia. So Ariel, when she was 3, her name was still Ariel. She was present at her mother's murder. She doesn't remember anything, but she grew up her whole life thinking, oh my gosh, my dad did it, because she was taken when she was 3 to a Walmart and dropped off. And she believes that person was her dad. Well, in the first chapter, they find out her dad died when her mom died. And so her whole life she thought her dad was a murderer. Turns out he was murdered too. And so there's a killer out there. She has now changed her name to Olivia. She was adopted. The adoption didn't go well, and so she became emancipated or free from parents. She's 17. She works at a supermarket. She's just trying to live her life, and these police show up and they say, hey, we found out your dad's dead. And she finds out they're having a funeral for her dad, and she doesn't really know her family, so she's like, maybe I'll go, maybe I won't. And it makes her want to realize who is the person that killed her mom and her dad, and are they after me? And so it's intense, it's crazy, lots of twists and turns. These do not have a lot of language. They're pretty tame, but they're good books. So The Girl I Used to Be. And then the last book, which I have started reading, I've not finished reading it, is This Is Our Story. So what happens is 5 hunters go hunting. One of them ends up shot and killed. From what I've read, I've only read the first chapter, they were all under the influence of drugs and alcohol, and they were teens and they're partying. They're rich teens and they're partying. And so, but people are trying to figure out who killed this guy. This guy deserves justice. And they've come up with a story, but people are starting to put question marks in the story. So the book's all about like what really happened in that case. And it says in the back, we all handled that gun. We all fired that gun. We all know that any one of us could go down for this if the other three decided that that needs to happen. It is a secret that binds us. The clock is ticking and we have to hold it together for a couple of weeks. Then this will be over and we can find our outer new normal. Right now the others feel strong. They don't believe there is anything going to bring us down. But I know it's going to get worse before it gets better. I don't know. I'll let you know when I finish it. I'm reading it alongside these kids. But these are books that you could find on Overdrive. These are books that you could go buy, whatever you want to do. But there's some great options here for you. Hope you have a great day. Bye.